Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great, you're go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
You know, what I'm saying, Tom, is if elevators had not been invented, all the CEOs and important people, they'd have their offices on the first floor. That would be their sign of status. First floor offices would be the sign of status if elevators had never been invented. That's all I'm saying, Tom. It's the 7th day of January, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind.
And you made it. Congratulations. Welcome.
Sorry about that. I got here late because I had to walk down because there were no elevators. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The elevator in your house is broken too?
Yeah, it took me longer. Well, it was never invented in my house. So yeah. Had to walk down 12 flights of stairs. I live in a big house, you know.
My status symbol penthouse office is not prepared yet. I'm still in my basement office, which whatever. It's the bunker's my status symbol.
I'm in my dining room office.
Well, Happy New Year, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
We made it to 2023. Who'd have ever thunk it?
Yeah. It is kind of funny. Back in the day when I was in school in the mid 70s, 80s, whatever, early 80s, I'm like, what 2020? 2023, 2020, 2015.
Yeah.
What is that? We're not, this world won't even be around back then, because back in the day, a lot of pastors and whatever, the Lord's coming back. It's going to probably be in the next 10 or 15 years. We may not make it to 2000, So anyway, it's almost unfathomable to be in 2023. It's
a little wild. It's a little wild. But we made it, and the world's changing, and the world is doing what it's doing, and we want people to be kind. And we're going to talk to Cindy Rowe about being kind today and every day. She's going to be coming on here in just a couple minutes. But as we do at the start of the show, we do have a big number of the week this week. So let's see if this still works in the basement studio. How do we got? Yeah, it does still work. And our big number of the week this week is, let's throw it up here on the screen, 3.7 million. The answer this week is rivers or rates. Put your guess in the comments there. Tom's going to give me his guess here before he has got to bow out a little bit early in the show today. So at some point, if you want to text me your guess so Joann doesn't hear it, you're welcome to do that. That's up to you.
Doing it right now.
Okay. Currently, the score is 2-1. Joann has a commanding lead. Well, I don't know. She's been on a roll for like 2 months now.
Yeah, I know.
It's been amazing. Since falling way behind Tom in the last race to 10, she stormed back, just like the Minnesota Vikings, and actually won a game from way down.
The Minnesota, how well did that work for them the following week?
It didn't work so well for the Packers, but the who did they play? They were down to the Colts, right?
It was the Colts. Yeah, they were down 33-0 at the half. They then they come out on fire, and even then, it wasn't really until the fourth quarter when they really started. Third quarter was good. They scored like 21 points, but fourth quarter, they just dominated the second half.
Amazing. So, it was amazing. And obviously, as Packer fans watching last week's game, we were thinking, oh no, we got to, these guys, they have comeback in their vein. We got to finish them off. And boy, did the Packers ever finish them off last week.
Oh, I know. I don't know. Where was I? I missed the entire first half. I'm trying to think of.
Our Sunday was pretty cool.
Oh, I know what it was.
New Year's Day. You probably slept in from partying all night New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I partied until 9:30, 9:45. So wow, woo, and all that. and all that water that I drank. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay,
Yeah.
no, I know what it was. I got home. I went to watch the Bear game with a buddy of mine. And I got home at about 3:15. Bear game ended early. Got home about 3:15. I was so tired. I went and laid down. Didn't wake up till 5:15. Second half. It was early in the second half, and I heard Greg Olson. Was it the game of the week? Greg Olson said, "I just don't see the Vikings coming back from this big a deficit." My eyes lit up. I'm like, "What? This big a deficit? What's the score?" And then they flashed the score, 27-3.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. But I'm with you. I thought, oh no, this could be another one of those comebacks because they're known for coming back.
It's one of those good news things because the week before they did have the most epic comeback in NFL history, and because that happened the week before, you've got that fresh in your mind. So it's like the Packers players have to be like, and the coaches are all like, no, we're not letting these guys back in the game. We're not letting up the gas. Keep going. And they did. So
right.
I really was impressed. Aaron Rodgers' interview after the game mentioned to the reporter that he said the offense only scored 27 points. We need to do better than that.
Yeah.
Because the defense scored 2 and special teams scored 1.
Right.
No, the defense scored 1, special teams scored 1. It was 1 pick six, right? Or was there 2 pick sixes? I forget. I know there was one.
One for sure.
4 picks complete. Four picks total. 1 went back for sure. Anyway, Nixon with that 105-yard return was electric. That guy is on fire. Hopefully he stays healthy through this whole playoff run because, of course, they got to win tomorrow. But, man, is he fun to watch. Almost, I won't put him there yet, but almost Devin Hester-ish.
Yeah.
Very close to that kind of electricity. So he's not there yet.
No, I know. I like that.
Very, very, very excited. Packers, Lions, Sunday Night Football tomorrow night. Were you watching the game on Monday night when that crazy thing happened?
I sort of was. Okay, point of clarification. They played the Giants in between the Indianapolis game and the Packers game. They played the Giants, and they beat them 27-24. And that Indy game was 39-36, and it did go into overtime.
It did go to overtime.
But anyway. I was doing trivia, but at the place where I was doing trivia, we got a big, gigantic TV right up here, just above my left shoulder. Yeah. And I was kind of watching, kind of not. And then all of a sudden, I got a text from a buddy of mine. He says, "Hey, are you watching the game? There's a guy on the field, and they're doing CPR on him." And I'm like, "Oh." So I looked. By that point, they had already suspended the game. And a couple of people saw me stand up, and I was standing over there in between questions, and I was watching it for a little bit. So then they started watching it, and then they started coming up to me, asking me what's going on with the game, what's happening. And I said, well, I got a text that he's on the field and they're performing CPR. So, and it hit me until yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. One of the sportscasters, I don't mean like football sportscaster, one of the radio guys, sports radio guy, he said the guy actually died on the field.
Technically speaking, he did.
Technically speaking,
the heart stopped.
Did. The heart stopped. Yeah, and for a significant amount of time, he was dead. And
at least for a couple of minutes there, his heart was stopped, and the medic guy CPR got it. They were thankfully they're that quick and on it to realize what was going on. It wasn't just
all NFL games. They don't have to call the ambulance. They're there. Yeah. They're even there at high school games. They got the defibrillators and stuff like that. If that ever happens at a high school game or a college game, especially, but you've got the full on medical staff there every single game, which is a good thing. Some things the NFL actually does get right.
And I think they handled everything really, really well this week from the incident.
Yeah.
A lot of people gave them grief about how long, quote unquote, how long it took to suspend the game Monday night. It's a fluid situation. You're trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe they could have kept playing the game. They didn't know until about 40 minutes later after the injury that, this game isn't going to be played.
Yeah. What if he comes back And he holds up his hand, he jumps up, and he's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
been taken to the office and he's breathing again. No, well, he wasn't. So, I mean,
No, once they carted them off on an ambulance, half an hour after it happened, half an hour.
that's still fast.
Minutes later, after the coaches got together, the rest got together, everybody was in agreement. Sean McDermott, the coach of the Bills, said, there's no way. I can't coach this game now. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then Zach Taylor, coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, said, yeah, I agree. And there's just no way this game was going to be played. So anybody who says, oh, come on, man, I got fantasy riding on it. They got betting on it. Come on, man, you should be playing the game. The guy's off the field. Let's play the game. No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Sorry, you're an idiot if you say that. And I mean that in the nicest kind of sense.
I think they
Probably
handled
not
it
really
well.
an idiot. You're just being an idiot.
I think this week they handled it as well as they possibly could have by complaining. They call it the game of no contest. So it's not going to be played. It's not going to be made up. They've come up with scenarios in the playoffs in case they need to play at a neutral field. If the teams in question could have been a host and end up not hosting a playoff game. So it stinks all the way around. Obviously, it's a bad situation.
So basically, they're doing a 16-game season for those two teams, correct? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because when I checked out my fantasy for just kicks and giggles, I'm out of it. I was out of it a while ago. It said bye. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. So that's what they did.
Yeah.
They put a bye on
no
there.
contest. It was ruled a no contest.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm okay with that because I'm okay with whatever they decided to do.
the only sad
I
thing
can't control it.
Damar's doing better. He's improving. In fact, he communicated with his team here
He
yesterday.
said, love you boys. He said that on a Zoom interview. That was it. The
Amazing.
tube, I think the tube is out. I think he's breathing on his own now.
Tube's out. He's breathing on his own. The only bummer about this whole thing is for Cincinnati. They because of this solution they came up with, it's possible this could hurt Cincinnati prevent them from hosting a playoff game that they probably should have hosted if they would have tied or beat the Bills that day. So there's that. But other than that, I don't know what you could have done.
But you know what? Last year, I believe Cincinnati went on the road and won all of their road games to the Super Bowl and could have probably won the Super Bowl because that came down to the last drive with Cincinnati. Came down to a fourth down. And if Joe Burrow completes that pass, I'm pretty sure they're in field goal range or they're getting close with 50 seconds left. I know memory doesn't serve me right on this one as much, but I'm pretty sure it was. I know it came down to the last.
It's going to be an exciting weekend this weekend as the season wraps up, and obviously the Packers win, they're in.
And you know if. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Well, if Seattle wins, then the Lions are definitely out. But if Seattle loses, it's the winner of Packers-Lions that gets into the playoffs.
And this is why they flexed that game. So I think what they're wanting is for Seattle to win so that the winner takes all on the Detroit game. So I'm actually rooting.
If Seattle loses.
That's what I meant to say. If Seattle loses, so I'm actually rooting for Seattle. I don't want Detroit to have anything to play for. I want them to be deflated,
Right.
It's in Green Bay. I'm not worried about it. I think Green Bay is by far a better team.
Well,
they are by far.
It's going to be an exciting Sunday of football. As far as other stuff happened this past week, New Year's Day. My quick shout outs here before we get to Cindy. Shout out to Lights Church is in Fort Worth, Texas. That's where we were last week with the family, my daughter's family, and New Year's Day, our church service. We did that at their church, which is called Lights Church in Fort Worth. Very fun, very electric service they had there Sunday morning. Had a nice lunch, and then we went back to our hotel room to watch the Packers game on the tube. Uncle Julio's. If you've never been to an Uncle Julio's, awesome restaurant in the Fort Worth area. I don't know that they have other locations outside of Fort Worth, but it seems like every time we go to visit them, we have to go to Uncle Julio's. Besides last week, I mentioned Chewy's and then Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue. I know I'm promoting restaurants in another town. Strange. I get it. If you ever you got to see
if we leave right now, we could be there in 10 hours, right? 12 hours.
How fast can you drive? So anyway, and yeah, other than that, quick this week, tomorrow is besides football, if you're shopping for a home, come and see me in DeKalb. I'm hosting an open house on 101 Ridge Drive in DeKalb. This is a 6-bedroom home, dude.
Wow.
6-bedroom house in DeKalb. Nice neighborhood, big house. And I'll be there from 2 to 4 tomorrow. So come on out if you can make it, eh? Yeah.
Well, lucky for you, the Packer game got flexed till tomorrow night. Yeah.
Well, I would have said no thanks to hosting the open house if I would have known if that game hadn't been flexed.
Yeah.
So anyway, so our guest today is becoming kind of locally famous. That's what I'm going to say about you, Cindy. You're becoming kind of locally famous. Cindy Rowe, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You are becoming the Queen of Kindness, which I think is awesome. I want to show everybody your website real quick while we're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to get it out of the way. Can I have your autograph? Because if you're famous now, hey, in 2 years, 5 years, it might be worth something.
Anytime. I don't know if I
just fax it over to me.
Fax. Do we still have those?
Right.
I don't know. I don't even have a landline, so no.
CindyRowe.com or thecindyrowe.com is what I'm looking at right there. And before we get into what you do now, I do want to mention how we met, which I wonder if you even remember this, Cindy. You might not remember this. This has been about 8 years ago. My brother-in-law and I went to do a nighttime golfing at Timber Ridge. What's the golf?
Timber Ridge,
Point.
I think.
Timber Point
out on on
Caledonia Road or Winnebago Road.
No. Woodstock Road.
Yeah. Woodstock Road. So we would go do the nighttime golf thing, and Dwayne, my brother-in-law, and I, we just signed up for it. We didn't know anybody else that was doing it. It sounded like a lot of fun. And we get paired up with this gal named Cindy and this other guy, these two we've never met before. So we golf 9 holes with you guys on I think it was a Friday night, if I remember right. I don't think it was a weekend
night. Friday
night. We had a lot of fun. We were gawking at the guys a couple holes behind us who were using extremely bright green golf balls. The golf balls we got from the club were nice. They were glow in the dark green golf balls, but these guys were using these electric neon green golf balls. And we were all jealous how they couldn't lose those things. And the guy hosting that was running the golf night was like, next year we're getting those. Have you been back to the nighttime golf thing again, Cindy?
I tried it one other time with my son, actually at Mississippi. So
nice.
We did not have electrifying golf balls either. And I think I did better at Timber Point than I did at Mississippi.
Yeah, but we had a lot of fun. It was a good night and everything. But from then till
lose
now,
a ball.
Oh yeah,
I remember I did not lose a ball.
I don't think
that's always a successful day for me when I don't lose a golf ball. I would rather give away 10 than lose one. I hate losing golf balls.
Well, especially at nighttime too.
Yeah, I don't understand. How do you do that? How do you see where you're shooting it? There's no lights at all?
Torches. There was like tiki torches along the golf paths and stuff like that. I think there was neon glow sticks at the top of the flags at the holes on the greens. So you could see where you were hitting, and it's really hard to lose a glow ball at night because it's glowing and everything else isn't. So it's, unless you really hit it in the real thick of the woods, you're probably going to find the ball. And there's not too much water traps out there either. So anyway, that's how we first met, as far as I can recall. Since then, though, you've gone on, Cindy, to do some interesting stuff and kind of shift your business. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Cindy Rowe, public speaker and marketing?
Great. Well, thank you again for having me here. I was excited. I am usually not up and around this early on a Saturday morning, at least showered and dressed by this time. So I have been in business, actually started my marketing company 6 years ago, and I focus generally on small businesses, entrepreneurs, helping them grow their business through social media, branding. I do small marketing campaigns or whatnot. So, been doing that successfully for the last 6 years. I hosted my own social media conference back in 2019 and fell in love with not only educating my small business owner friends or clients, but fell in love with being on stage, quote unquote. And I realized that there was, a way that I could utilize that in my business to become the local expert on social media, become the local expert for marketing. But as I continued doing those things, I realized that there was just more to my story than social media, and kind of dug in a little deeper to who I am and what makes me excited. And that comes down to kindness. And over the last couple of years, I've kind of done some soul searching, I guess you can say, and realized that it was because of kindness that my business grew and expanded the way it did. I was in corporate America for way too long and decided that it was time to leave. And during that time, my life was a complete disaster. Looked pretty on the outside, but on the inside, it was not pretty. Struggling with my marriage, struggling figuring out where I belong in this, world, doubting my abilities as a professional. And I actually leaned on a friend and I was like, life sucks and I don't know what to do about it. And he challenged me to do a random act of kindness. And I actually laughed in his face. And I share this in my speeches that I laughed at him. I'm like, why would I do a random act of kindness? How is that going to change me? And he's like, well, when you take things off of you and put them onto somebody else, your life looks different. And so I was kind of at, my wit's end. I'll try whatever I can. And I did. It was about 3 random acts of kindnesses in that I could feel myself change. I could feel my mood shift. I walked a little bit lighter. I think my personality has always been very fun and bubbly, but that kind of got lost. And I probably say back about 8 years ago, people would have called me a little bitter and not a nice person. So this was a positive shift, and I could feel it, and I noticed a change. So I was actually approaching my 40th birthday, and I decided that I was going to do a random act of kindness every day for my birthday month. My birthday is on Halloween. I have a really cool birthday. So it was 31 days of random acts of kindness, and to end my birthday month with those random acts of kindness, it actually literally changed who I was. And I was a completely different person. And from that, I've just taken those lessons and created what I have now. And I didn't know I did it until I was like reflecting back these last couple of years, like, how did I get here? Like, how did kindness become so important to me? And yeah, that was the story. And I say this every time I talk about it. So I'm actually going to write him a letter when we get done here. I've never told the person that challenged me that he literally changed my life. So he needs to know, like, that's a super kind thing, right? And so now, like, I like to take my message to other businesses, corporations. Last spring, I spoke at a lot of local schools talking with the kids about kindness. And you know what? They are on it more than we are as adults. And they understand how to be a nice friend, a kind person, including, and I share this in speech, that kids, when they think of kindness, they think of inclusion. And I don't think as adults we see it that way. And so that's a big challenge for me when I go and speak with other groups and organizations and companies, that, when we include people, when we consciously think, doing kind things can become second nature, but it's also like a muscle. You have to practice it, and you have to keep it top of mind in order to have an impact on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about doing random acts of kindness. I'm talking about how you approach a situation, like when you struggle with confrontation, or if there's an argument, how you can approach that in a kind way when somebody's let you down, in that way. And yeah, I feel like walking out of COVID, how our corporate culture has shifted and changed. And now that things are getting back to somewhat normal, we're going back to those old habits. So
It's like after 9/11.
my vision, yeah, right, exactly. We go back to what we are comfortable with and what we know. And so my my vision is that I go to companies, I go to organizations, and I talk about how we can incorporate kindness into the culture of the organization, how we can incorporate kindness with leaders, the leadership team, CEOs. Everything comes from the top down, and how we view it more of a strength than a weakness. And a lot of my social media posts talk about that, like how we can approach it differently, and see it differently. Because when somebody says something nasty to you, your gut instinct is to respond with nastiness.
Right.
And like, how can we step back? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not even about you. It's not even about what you might have said. It's the baggage I'm carrying. Maybe I got a nasty text from somebody. Maybe my grandma just died, and I'm just reacting.
Makes me think of It's a Wonderful Life when the pharmacist makes that mistake. He was having a bad day. He had his own personal issues that caused that mistake to happen. He wasn't being mean. Yeah. That's really good point. Cause at the beginning of this year, as different podcasts and stuff that I've been listening to and reading, it kind of dawned on me the 3 major portions of my life that caused me to be who I am today, to be, except for Tom, who we like to be mean to each other. We're generally thought of as very nice guys. We're just the nice guys. You meet these guys, they're very nice. And what caused me to be nice, I can pinpoint a professional thing, a personal thing, and a family thing. 3 major things in my life that were out of my control, that hurt me deeply, 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 and could have sent me into a very bitter place. And it did for a while. That changed my perspective on people's lives. Like you mentioned, inclusion. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is just include them, invite them to be a part of whatever's going on. That opens a lot of doors. That's networking.
Yeah. And I spoke recently at the Rockford Network of Professional Women's luncheon, and I talked about that. Like, that was the very first time I was ever at that type of event for them. And I felt very welcomed. And I said, now think about when you see somebody new. I feel like maybe I got a little bit better treatment because I was their speaker. But like, when you see somebody new testing out this new networking group, instead of staying where you're comfortable and hanging with your friends, why don't you go and invite them to come over and chat with you and include them in your conversation? And I got a lot of head nods. They're like, yeah. I actually brought 2 people up on stage and had them sit down, and I turned my back to one of them and basically just talk to the other person, just to show, this is how it feels when you're a newbie at a networking event or a newbie at an office, right? When people are so comfortable with somebody else that, you don't even realize that your back is turned to them and that you don't ask them about their day or ask them about their family or whatever. So it was a cool example.
How you doing? How you been? All that sort of stuff. Yep. I know Tom's got a bow out here in a second. Did you want to add anything, Tom, before we let you run out to your deal?
First of all, very, very, very enamored with what you're saying. This is really, really awesome. I've led a life that's we don't have enough time for this, but I know exactly where you're coming from with the whole feeling left out and this and that. I was bullied as a child. Most of us were. There's one thing worse than child bullying. It's adult bullying. I hate adult bullying when people at work, and this is kind of what I think you're getting at, is that if you're in a group and somebody is off in the corner, go ahead and find them and talk to them, because it's so easy to say, you know what, I'm out of here. I don't get a good feeling. Nobody said anything to me. I feel like an idiot. I'm out of place. I'm going. And if you catch them before that, you've changed their life, just like what you said. I'm very, very impressed with your message, with you and everything, because this is right in my wheelhouse as well. Having been, Greg, you and I have talked about introvert, extrovert. I know we're both introverts. I get it, but we're very extroverted in our personality.
We're extroverted introverts.
Exactly. Whatever that means. And I'm one of the most outgoing persons you'll ever meet. But 30 years ago, 35, whatever years ago, when I was younger, I was in my teens, my 20s, I wouldn't talk to people. I was too afraid. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you want to stand here? No, you're good. You're good. Oh, I'm sorry. I took the last piece of candy. Did you want it? No, go ahead. Get away from that mentality. And that's what I did. I started getting away from that. And the whole idea is I've got some very, very good friends. And the guy right there is one of them. And it helps you along. So being kind to somebody, being their friend, does immeasurable things, just like the guy who empowered you to choose kindness. I love it. I love the message. So
thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We'll let you jet, Tom, because I know you got to run.
Okay. I will see you all. Greg, you got my text, right?
You got it. Go Pack, go.
Right.
And big
all
number.
Right, buddy. I'll call you. We'll talk tomorrow when the Packers win.
All right.
By the way, Cindy, you a Packer fan, Bear fan? What?
She's a Bear fan.
I'm a Bear.
She's a Bear
Oh,
fan.
I'm out of here. Bye. Now, wait a minute. That was not a random act of kindness. You should have lied to me and said, oh, I love the Packers.
No, that would be being nice. See, then that's another thing. See, being nice would be agreeable with you, but no. I'm not a huge NFL fan, so if I had to root, I would be rooting for the Bears.
All right, buddy. Well, we still love you anyway. All right, bye guys. Have a good one. Tell Joann I said hi.
All right, we'll catch up with him later. So, as a way to kind of wrap things up, I wanted to ask you, are you specifically, because this show we focus on not-for-profits in the Rockford area, are you specifically involved in one, or have you been involved with any kind of not-for-profits in the Rockford area in the past that you'd like to talk about today?
Yeah, so I am on the board of the Junior League of Rockford. Okay. And I've been a member since 2018, I think. 2018.
And how would you describe the Junior League of Rockford to someone who's never heard about it before?
Well, shame on you for never hearing about it. No, it's just
I'm being that guy because that's what I do as a host.
No, we get that all the time, and so that's actually a big mission of mine. Being with my marketing hat, a big mission of mine to get the word out about the Rockford Junior League. So we are a women's volunteer organization that focuses on, building a better community. Right now, our project, we are focusing on the literacy in the Rockford area. And we have a program called Literacy Leaders, where we're actually fundraising to install book vending machines in a couple locations in Rockford. We built some little libraries. One will be going up at our headquarters and another one in a different location in Rockford. We just finished those up, so we're waiting till everything thaws to put those to.
A few years ago, some neighborhoods, some areas have these little libraries, community libraries, take one, leave one things. They're so cool.
Yeah, and it's just a way to get books in the hands of children. We work with Swedes NICU. We volunteer to basically do a book drive and provide books for their NICU. They have a readathon program. So there's just a lot of different aspects with the literacy leaders that we do. I'm trying to get more books in the hands of our youth around the community. We've done other things like backpack buddies. We helped launch Discovery Center, which I think if anybody is from Rockford, they know what the Discovery Center is. That was a project of the Junior League, amongst a whole bunch of other ones. So we've been around for.
That's a total new one.
Yeah. And so the mission, so what we just try to do is we put together a project and create it, build it with the community, and then pass it along for somebody else to continue taking it to the next level. So been around for 92 years, and we're always looking for new members and people that really want to make an impact in our community. The reason I joined Junior League, one of the big reasons, is I love to volunteer and I love like-minded people, and I wanted to be surrounded by women who were very similar in nature with me, and this was a group that I knew I could get behind, get more involved in Rockford, and I have loved every minute. I have some really great friends that I have now because of the Junior League, and they really do focus on growing you as an individual and a professional. So like I said, I am now on the board, and I've been on other boards before, but some women have never had the opportunity to be in a leadership role. And so we educate and train and provide, tools that you can really build up those skill sets. So it's a really great organization.
Well, if someone wants to learn more about the Junior League, obviously you can check in with Cindy, find her on Facebook, find her on LinkedIn. I'm a big proponent of LinkedIn. I love connecting with people on LinkedIn. Here's your page on Facebook. People can look you up there. That's the one you're looking for. Watch out for the fakers. What is it about Facebook and Instagram fake accounts? I don't know, but keep an eye out for those. And then, is there anything else you'd like to add today before we let you go?
Yeah, just one more thing. So with the Junior League of Rockford, we are actually hosting a women's conference at the end of this month. It's called Empowered Women, and it's our first annual conference, and I have 2 different tracks. It's going to be at the NIU Center on State Street, right? I don't know if the conference center, I don't know what that's the official title is called, but we have 2 different tracks. We have an entrepreneurial track and a personal development track, and I'll be one of the speakers. So, thank you very much for posting that. We're really trying to get the word out. This is a fundraiser for us. A lot of the speakers are coming in and not charging a fee and providing this amazing conference to better the local women. So if you're not busy on the 28th, come on and get your ticket.
All right. We're going to put this in the chat right now as far as the link goes. So it's easy to, let's see, stop the screen share. Then I can get my chat box. All right, there we go. Hopefully that'll link up. There's apparently, it looks like there's a dot before the J that probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I'm going to try to copy that.
I actually noticed that in the social post. So we got to change that.
There we go. Now the link will work in the chat box there. So January 28th, the NIU Conference Center. Is that the one right across the street from the Showplace
Yeah.
Theater? So right there on State Street. Awesome. Good deal. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you at upcoming other networking events, and we'll definitely have to keep connecting on Junior League stuff, and because I want to promote that here on this show too. That's a major thing of what we do here on Saturday Morning Stateline Show, is talk about what our local not-for-profits are doing and how they're helping our Northern Illinois families better their lives. So that's what we want to keep continuing to do here. So thank you for your kindness message.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right, have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
There she goes, Cindy Rowe, Kindness Advantage. Check out her website. Good morning, Joann.
Good morning.
That was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, I was very interesting.
Are you motivated now to be kinder to me? It's all about me. No. Kindness to the general public.
Kind to you.
I'd tell you, that's one of the things that was one of the biggest challenges after some of the most major hurts of my life, to turn around and actually start being kind. I want to say it was a church service that actually reminded me of what the Bible teaches about praying for your enemies. And I was like, I got to pray for this guy who just totally ripped my heart out and showed it to me on a spear, basically. Yeah, you gotta pray for that guy and show him kindness, because you know what? Something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with me. It wasn't my fault, mean to me. So good. Hey, randoms for this week. Where is our little caption thingy there? We can get rid of that and SMS. Random stuff. Taking a quick look at what's happening around the area. Of course, Sinisippi Station.
Isn't it?
What's that?
The Sinisippi lights.
The lights are done. Festival of Lights are all done at Sinisippi Park. The Sinisippi Station model train exhibit at the Rockford Park District's Nicholas Conservatory, that goes until the end of January, till the 29th. Okay. And admission fees do apply for this, but this is one of the coolest things for Rockford right now, is this miniatures.
I just had a friend who went there, and she said it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I have to go.
They're G-scale trains, which are not the tiny trains that you might have played with as a kid. These are the bigger size trains. And they've got them set up all around the conservatory with all these cool miniature things about Rockford. Through the 29th, recurring weekly, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The only day they're closed is Monday at Nicholas Conservatory. So check that out. The lights outside, all aglow, that goes through tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, lights are on from dusk to dawn. Park closes at 10. Free admission. Donations are accepted. Celebrate at Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens with the sparkling holiday lights and outdoor gardens. Hopefully the weather will be decent here today and tomorrow to go and see them. But technically, it sounds like those are all done starting after tomorrow night. They'll be. I don't know if they're going to take them down or what they do with them, but they're done. So
they aren't on.
Trinadora's first Saturday musical potpourri is at Stockholm Inn tonight, and they do that every night on the first Saturday of the month. First Saturday of the month from 5 to 7 p.m. It's free admission at Stockholm Inn. Janelle Nelson and Ron Holm is the Trinadora duo, and they play everything from pop to folk, country and jazz, blues, Latin, Celtic, all kinds of variety of music, with keyboard, guitar, ukulele, fiddle, ocarina. I don't know what an ocarina is. Harmonica, J-sax, bass, steel guitar, concertina, all kinds of instruments. Sounds like a great fun time at Trinadora's first Saturday musical potpourri, Stockholm Inn, 5 to 7 tonight. And then also free tonight, Windsor Pizza Parlor has a comedy night. Show starts at 8, free admission. Get there early because it fills up. They got a host, they got a guest featured comedian, a main feature comedian, and the headliner of the night is Tyler Fowler, who's gotten himself his name gotten pretty well known around Chicago. Appears at Zany's Comedy Club, was among the best of the fest at the Cleveland Comedy Festival. That's tonight, starting at 8 p.m. they probably go till 11 or 12. I bet they go kind of late with 4 comedians and a host. So that's going on there. Some other stuff to promote this week. Now, you have a Wi-Fi connection at home,
Yes.
right? Did you name your Wi-Fi connection when you got it? So did you give it a special name?
Like Joann's Wi-Fi.
Joann's Wi-Fi? Is that
No,
everyone
I
has
don't
Wi-Fi
think
at home and work? Some of the funny name networks that you may or may not have seen. I've got a neighbor whose Wi-Fi is called FBI surveillance number 17 or something like that. I think that's hilarious.
Oh, so when you go, when it comes up on your phone, sometimes you can see your neighbors' names, right?
Yeah. If you're scanning for Wi-Fi, it's just looking at all the Wi-Fi networks around you. Doesn't mean you can connect to them. It just means it's there. Here's some funny ones that some people have shared. Mom, click here for internet. That's the name of their Wi-Fi connection. Click here for viruses. That's fun too. Vladimir Computing. It's the name of a Wi-Fi network at someone's house or business. I pronounce you man and Wi-Fi. I thought that was good too. All right. There is more than 3,000 exhibitors and 100,000 attendees in Las Vegas this weekend for the Consumer Electronics Show. One of the biggest shows that they put on every year. CES is trying to bounce back to its pre-pandemic popularity. When it first started in 1967, it was about maybe 18 to 20,000 people. Now it's over 100,000 people. Huge, huge show. Debuted in New York City with pocket radios as the star of the show. But this year, one of the things you'll find at the Consumer Electronics Show, and I believe we're going to all have these eventually, the U-Scan from a company called Withings, Withings, Withings. It's meant to be inserted into your toilet, and then you can pee on it, and it collects and analyzes a small sample of your urine to monitor your vitamin C levels, your ketones, other health indicators. I think we're all going to have these someday, Joann. This is one of those things I think is going to become almost universal. Yeah.
A health pee stick.
Yeah, a health monitor to say, hey, you're low on vitamin D, better take a supplement. Or, hey, something on here doesn't look right. Talk to your doctor. Maybe they can detect early signs of cancer or something through urine samples. I don't know. I think this is coming, though. I think this is going to be something that we all have probably in the next 8 to 10 years. I'll just put this on the recording so everyone can say I said that.
Okay.
According to sales figures released by Ford, the Ford truck is the top-selling vehicle in the U.S. for the 41st year in a row. Top-selling truck for the 46th year. At least one of the trucks is sold every 49 seconds. That's how popular the Ford F-Series of trucks is. Crazy. Are you a board game player, Joann? Like board games?
It's kind of hard when you're single.
When you get together with family, is there a board game you normally pull out?
We did play Monopoly, children's Monopoly over New Year's.
Cool. Catan is a game that comes out of our house sometimes. We like to play Catan.
No, tendency to go into family detail. My son was ADHD and could not lose. So board games were thrown across the room if he lost. So we kind of never did board games. My family did Scrabble.
Okay. Scrabble is fun.
Together.
We need to play more Scrabble. We enjoyed that back in the day and hardly play it anymore. According to Board Game Geek, per over 3,000 new board games debut every year. Over 3,000.
Really?
The global market is estimated to be between $11 and $13 billion, according to the Washington Post. It's still a huge, huge thing. Of course, with the pandemic, board games kind of made a strong comeback. I know Uno is not considered a board game, but Uno is one of those games that you get, as long as you got a deck, anyone can play, and that's kind of fun. So those board games are back and strong. Also back is Broadway. Do you see the Lion King grossed over $4 million across 9 holiday performances, was 99% capacity, and its highest gross ever. Broadway is back. That's wonderful to hear. Southwest Airlines had a huge holiday debacle. They say was partially the result of its reliance on an outdated scheduling technology, according to the Wall Street Journal. Southwest making great efforts now to update their scheduling technology because they needed to do that, and it caused them all kinds of problems. Have you ever flown Southwest before? I haven't.
I think so, but I haven't flown for many, many years.
Okay. I intend to fly on Southwest because you hear, they're the fun airline. They keep things light and fun, and they have a lot of goodwill built up, I think, with their clientele. So I think they'll recover from this debacle, but they displaced.
Is that the one that they show on YouTube sometimes where they're singing and dancing and talking about how to put your seatbelt on?
Their flight attendants have a good time. They make things light and fun, so they're usually great. I think they'll come back from their issues. Japan is giving families 1 million yen, which is about $7,600 per child, to move out of Tokyo. They want to diversify their aging population throughout the country, and so many young people live in Tokyo that they want them to move out and live amongst the other areas of the country. So they're incentivizing moving out of Tokyo by telling families they'll give them money per child to move out.
Move out.
That's how you incentivize people. You give them money. And some of the century-old predictions are to be believed. This is the year in which we'll see some really awesome things. NPR had this story about predictions that were made in 1923. And they said by the year 2023, we would be seeing things like radio-powered cars. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I think it means cars that run off the power of radio frequencies instead of gasoline. That's an awesome thought. I love that thought. How does that happen? I don't know. Kidney cozies. Like the cozies you put on your beer cans or other things to keep them warm. They were predicted by this year we would be wearing cozies for our kidneys to keep our kidneys warm. They said telepathy would be a big thing, and the 4-hour workday would be a big thing. So
haven't got there yet.
Not quite there yet. YouTube has removed over 5.8 million channels in the third quarter of last year, the most ever in a single quarter. Over 91% of those were booted for being either misleading, spamming, or scamming. Thank you, YouTube. Get rid of all this spam stuff. There's enough garbage out there. We don't need to be dealing with that. That's part of our big number of the day, so I'm going to skip that. Association of Pickleball Professionals. They estimate 36.5 million Americans played pickleball between August of 2021 and August of 2022. Estimates for the year 2021 where about 5 million people played pickleball. Pickleball is exploding. My question is it exciting enough to watch? I'm curious to see, because there's a lot of investors. There's some big sports name investors in the Association of Pickleball Professionals.
Have you played pickleball?
I haven't played pickleball yet. And I love tennis. I like table tennis too. So I'm sure I'll like playing pickleball. I haven't played it yet.
Well, neither have I. So I was just wondering. That was something I'm
ready to play. If anyone's got an indoor court around the Stateline area, let me know. I would love to try a thing of pickleball. So, okay, that takes care of all of our other randomness for this week. We'll do our big number after we check in with PAWS. And do we have any news?
The fur ball, I see there's the invitations are out.
Yes, they are. There's your invitation. And here's the
cute little dog on the top. And if we're still looking, we're still able to accept
Silent auction.
Silent auction items.
Silent
Yes.
auction notification. Okay. Saturday, February 18th at the Tabala Event Center.
It's coming faster than we could say.
Right. Silent auction at 5:30. Dinner and dancing at 6:30. Music again by Minimal. We love Minimal.
And it's
Very
at Tabala.
Tabala Event Center on Newburgh Road.
It's a little bit different, but let's see, as my mirror camera is off, so I can't. It's only the first week of January, so.
But there you are,
7
off and running.
cats and no dogs, although we're kind of short on dogs right now.
Well, you know, if you average 1 cat adoption a day, that's 31 in January. That's awesome.
So I was, did I look at what, I'm sorry, I was going to look what last, did I already change this? There
it is. 11
December
dogs and 45.
11 dogs and 45 cats.
Yay.
So that, yeah, you're right. At least a cat a day then.
That's a good goal right there.
A cat a day.
Hello, kitty.
So I don't know if this was a new cat. Oops. Hank. Siamese. I was going to say Chinese. I'm sorry. Siamese. I don't see any stories really about him, but when he comes up to be petted right away, so he seems friendly. There's a laid back cat back there. This is Sunny. She came back. She was adopted, but was returned.
Oh, no.
She was,
sometimes don't work out.
Yeah, Danny? Yeah, I would, it's better to bring them back if they aren't going to work out in your family. Here, I'm gonna scooch back here and get some kittens. Yes! Tom would like this one. He's partial to black cats. Ouch!
Uh-oh.
I got a little bit too close and she got me. He got me, I should say.
You were invited in, that's all.
Yeah, he says, Eeyore. Part of he's reaching out for me, like, come on. Part of the piglet group. And here's the community room.
If somebody wants to volunteer for PAWS, give you guys a call, 299-PAWS.
Yeah. We're always looking for new volunteers.
PAWSHS.org online. Learn more about what volunteers are needed for.
And also fostering. I don't know as many cats as dogs. I usually don't foster cats. I foster dogs.
Are you ready to bring back the reading program, Joann? Is that going to be a thing soon again?
That's kind of like one of those questions I've asked too many times, and I don't get an answer.
Uh-huh. But it's something that we'd like to come back, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure what.
Before COVID, there was a program where kids would come in and read to the pets.
Yeah, it was a good program, and I'm not quite sure why it hasn't been brought back, but
maybe
so far it hasn't.
Maybe
I think people are still kind of afraid of bringing the community in. I don't know.
Right. Well, hopefully that does come back, and yeah, it was a good program. Got the kids out there to see what you guys do. Give the cats some interaction while they're waiting for their food.
One of the things that's good about the program is it brought a lot of younger kids where I forget your lady who was talking, Cindy.
Yeah.
About learning at a very young age how to volunteer, how you can give of yourself. And I think that's one of the things where it's important, because there's not a lot of things younger children can do to volunteer or to show kindness. And so that would be an opportunity for children to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Show kindness to these pets needing a forever home.
Mhm.
They can't adopt them themselves. They can at least brighten up their stay while they're at PAWS waiting for their
To
forever home.
realize about giving of yourself.
Nice.
So
very
very
nice.
good program.
All right. Well, let's do this. Big number of the week. Tom's giving me his guess. I'm going to get yours. Play
Okay.
this first. So here we go. Oh, the electric big number of the week. Thank you very much, Sounder. Our big number of the week this week.
Can't figure out that I'm cheating this month, right?
3.7 million is the big number of the week. The answer is rivers or rates. Rivers or rates. And Tom has given me his guess. What is your guess, Joann?
My guess is rates.
Your guess is rates. And Tom's guess is also rates. So I've got that too. Global equities. When you're looking at stocks around the world, global equities lost a record $18 trillion last year. There was about 300 interest rate hikes from central banks around the world. And due to Tesla's stock drop last year, Elon Musk became the first person in history to lose more than $200 billion of his value in wealth. 200 billion. That's a big number, but it's not our big number of the week this week. 3.7 million is the big number, and that's how many miles of rivers there are in the United States. So rivers is our answer, and our score remains Tom 1, Joann 2. I still owe you a breakfast because we haven't paid up from the last run to 10. So
We haven't
going to
done
do
breakfast in a while.
I know. We need to do that. We need to pick a place now that Sherry's is closed. We need to pick a place. We'll have to talk about that. I think I know a place, but you should choose. You were the winner, so you should choose a place. You'd be thinking about that for next week, all right?
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Joann. Thank you, Tom. Remember, you change the world when you help somebody, when you help one person. So be a blessing to someone today. Show some kindness. We'll meet back here next week. Yeah, absolutely. Hashtag kindness. And have yourself a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks, Joann.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.